Hello, hello, my friends. So some exciting things have happened with our caterpillars since I last talked to you. Are they still caterpillars? We will find that out in just a moment, but first I wanted to answer some questions that I got. So last time, if you remember, I asked why maybe this milkweed is called milkweed and why those monarch butterflies like to lay their eggs on it for the caterpillars to eat. And my friend Archer said it was because they eat and drink the milk from the plant. My friend Griffin said because the caterpillar babies have to eat from it right away. You are both right. So those caterpillars, they eat and munch and eat and munch and eat and munch on that milkweed. Sometimes till the plant is all the way gone. That's how hungry they are. And Archer, you're right. They drink the milk from the plant. It's not quite like the milk that you and I would drink that comes from a cow or a goat or soy milk, but it is a kind of milky substance that comes out of the plant. And that milky substance is actually a little bit poisonous for other animals. Not for the caterpillar, but for other animals. So if a bird comes up later and eats one of those caterpillars or butterflies, it says, oh, and it might get a tummy ache, and maybe not feel so good. And then it's going to think to itself, if I ever see one of those caterpillars again, I am never going to eat it because it tastes horrible and it made me feel terrible. So that is a way that they protect themselves by eating that milkweed. The milkweed makes them poisonous, and then predators like birds or other insects or maybe some reptiles won't want to eat them. Now I'm going to show you why it's called a milkweed plant. I'm going to pull one of the leaves off, and then let's see what happens when I do that. So here is some of our lovely milkweed. Little bee on top pollinating our flowers. Go bee, go! So important, those bees. Okay, here we have our leaves of our milkweed. You can see them there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull one of these leaves off. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit so that you can see it. I'm going to try to pull one of these leaves off, and let's see what happens when I do that. Look at that. Ha! Something is dripping out of that milkweed plant, and it looks very much like milk. Yeah. Look at that. So inside that plant, the liquid inside looks like milk. And remember, it's a little bit poisonous. Those caterpillars eat those leaves, which has that white milky substance inside. And boom, they become a little bit poisonous too. Now they wouldn't hurt me or you. It's only something that would try to eat them. But that's how they can protect themselves. See if I can get a shot of the leaf. There we go. Yeah, see the milky stuff coming out of the leaf as well. Pretty cool, that milkweed. That's why they like to eat it. So there you have it. That's why it's called milkweed. That's why the caterpillars like to eat it. Now, Archer and Griffin also had a couple questions about, Archer wanted to know, do caterpillars like to be in moist air? You know, they like to be mostly in warmish air. They don't care for super cold places. In fact, I'll talk about that a little bit more with someone else's question here in a minute. But they do like it, you know, they go through deserts sometimes when they're flying. They go through places like here where it's pretty rainy, pretty moist. So they can adapt to a lot of places, but it does need to be warm. Yeah. Now, Griffin said, do caterpillars breathe? Like, do they have lungs? This is a very interesting thing to think about. So caterpillars don't have lungs like you and I do, where we have this one hole right here, right, that goes down. When you take a deep breath in, you can feel your lungs filling up with air, right? You can go through your nose or your mouth. What caterpillars have is something called spiracles. Spiracles. And they're like tiny little holes on the sides of their bodies, and the air comes in through there. They don't breathe it like we do. Like lungs, it just kind of flows in and out. And they have those lining their body, and that's how the air gets inside of their body, and the oxygen gets to their muscles and organs. Very strange, right? No lungs, just holes. Now, Davis had a couple questions, and he asked, why do mama monarch butterflies leave their eggs alone to survive on their own? What are they flying away to do? And do you think she's worried about her eggs when she leaves them? To answer that, I have to show you something called a monarch migration. You might know what migration means. Some animals migrate and some animals don't. When something migrates, it means it moves from one place to another. So lots of times things will migrate because it gets really cold in the winter, and they'll go south, 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 south to where it's warmer for the winter time. And then they'll migrate back, up, 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 up again when winter is over and it's becoming summer. That's exactly what monarch butterflies do. So let me show you a little picture about how and where they go. Okay, so here is a map of where those butterflies migrate. Where they migrate. Down here is Mexico. That's a country right underneath us in the United States. Here's the United States of America, where we are. Here is Texas, our state where we live. And right about here is Austin, our city that we live in. So those monarchs, what they do is they start in the winter time. They are here in Mexico where it is so nice and warm because they do not like those cold temperatures, right? And then once it starts to warm up in the springtime, which is where we are now, they start to make their way up, 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 more north because now it's getting warmer here, right? We had our winter and now it's getting warmer. And they're laying their eggs as they go, right? Those butterflies, they live for about 6 weeks. They lay eggs. Their eggs hatch. They become caterpillars and then butterflies, right? And then they live for about 6 more weeks. They fly a little further north. They're laying eggs, right? Those eggs hatch. Those turn into caterpillars. Then they turn into butterflies. And they fly further, laying more eggs, right? All the way. They do this 5 times, 5 generations of butterfly. Lay eggs and go, lay eggs and go, lay eggs and go, right? And then the last generation will spend their summer here. Now, they don't lay eggs, that last generation. They actually are going to make a very long journey all by themselves, all the way back down to Mexico for the winter time. So when it's after the summer and it starts to cool off here in the fall, then we might see more of those butterflies coming back through to go back to Mexico so they can spend their winter there. And then they'll do it all over again the next year. When it's springtime again, they'll come back up, lay those eggs, hatch those eggs, eat what those caterpillars eat, become a butterfly, come back up, and that's what they do, back and forth, right? Migration from all the way in Mexico, all the way up here to the tippy top of the United States, and then back down. So they're kind of in a hurry, aren't they, Davis? Those mama butterflies lay their eggs and they leave them because they're trying to get as far north as they can. Now, Davis's last question, he asked, do you think the butterfly is worried about her eggs when she leaves them? I don't know if anybody really knows the answer to that question. I wonder if you all have any ideas about it. If you do, let me know what you think. I would love to hear it. Now, lastly, Rockwell has told me that we have been seeing a bunch of butterflies. That is so awesome. If you're seeing butterflies in your neighborhood or your yard, I would love to know what they look like, what color they are. Do they have stripes? Let me know, and then maybe we could figure out what kind of butterflies you are seeing around where you are. Oh, and I have a very special tool that sometimes I use to identify butterflies and caterpillars. So I'll show that to you next time. All right, now let's take a look at those caterpillars. Or are they still caterpillars? Let's go have a look.